Welcome back to Goodfellas Garage, ladies and gentlemen. I am standing inside of Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport, and the reason I'm here is because one of our cars, the Ford Confusion, has broken down in Naples, Florida. And my business partner and my friend had this brilliant idea to fly me over there, drop me off so I can pick up the car and drive it back home. He's a wannabe pilot, and we're gonna be using one of those sack twisters you see on a screen. I don't know which was the worst idea, having the car get fixed by Ford or fly inside one of those planes. Well, at least the sunrise is nice. Well, do you know what they say? That taking off is the easy part. Flying the plane is also easy. It's the landing that will get you 99% of the time. Let's see how this goes. There's always a chance you might crash into the Florida swamp and never be heard from ever again. This is a very comforting thought. And let me tell you something about the car. You probably have never seen this car in one of the videos. I haven't made any videos with it, but what happened was that on the way to Naples, the transmission crapped out and it leaked all of its fluid, and it broke down. So it's still under warranty, which is another scary part, by Ford. And we had it towed to Tamiami Ford in Naples, and the car has sat there for 3 months. Yes, 3 months. It's been sitting there for them just to look at it because they are so overwhelmed and they're so short-staffed. So they finally looked at it, and they determined that it was just a line that popped off. So they replaced the line and filled it up with some transmission fluid, and they said it's ready to go. So here we are. We're flying over, and let's see if the car's actually ready to go. Well, it looks like we have made it. Let's go pick up another Turd Ferguson. Ladies and gentlemen, I have successfully picked up Turd Ferguson II from Tamiami Ford, and as you can see, I'm driving home on I-75 or Alligator Alley. I am surrounded by the swamp and fences on both sides of the road to prevent the alligators from crossing the street and eating you alive. However, as we have seen before, alligators can actually climb over fences, so they don't really do much. Turd Ferguson II has made it home successfully, but not without issues. So let's see what they are. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I made it back to Fort Lauderdale in Turd Ferguson II. But Ford being Ford, the car started to disintegrate on the way back. Not mechanically, really, but cosmetically. For some odd reason, the seatbelt collapsed. The adjuster for the seatbelt just went down. I heard some like spring pop in there, and a couple of trim pieces from the headliner fell off. And when I used the sun visor, that popped out of the socket or whatever. I couldn't get it back in there. That's what she said. But so I took the car back to another Ford dealer to get it fixed, and I don't know what happened. So the other thing is that I had a bunch of Christmas lights on the dash just in time for the holidays. Check engine light, tire pressure light, bunch of lights came on because the transmission fluid was probably like all over the place, so it needs a cleaning. I don't know, whatever. But that's just Ford, and this car is a couple of years old, like 2019 or something like that. So, but anyways, so it's actually a couple days into the future. But I just want to give you an update on some of the cars that I have here. Turd Ferguson, the first is still here. If you recall from the last video, I took it to the auction and it didn't sell. It didn't bring what I wanted because the dealer's not really gonna appreciate what I did to the car. So they're looking at it, they're looking at the book value, and the book value, I don't know, whatever, $200. Like, oh, give you $200, whatever, fuck you. So, and the same thing with retail, really. A lot of people say, oh, KBB says it's worth $1,000. It's like, well, then I have fucking KBB go buy you a car then. So it's here. I gotta clean it. It's dirty from the auction. You take a car into the auction for a day, it comes back like it went through Baghdad or something. Like it's just unbelievable. And they did some damage to it too, because the AC was working, like brand new, and when I picked it up, the compressor wasn't engaging, so I had to put a brand new compressor in this car. I put a brand new Motorcraft, compressor. Now AC is cold, but that's the story with the auction. So every time you take a car over there, when it comes back with damage. I know for a fact they either drove the car or they idled, they were eating lunch in it or whatever the hell they were doing in it, because I dropped it off with a full tank of gas. When I went to pick it up, I had half a tank of gas. So, they do this, employees do that all the time, especially with lower end cars. They sit there, they eat their lunches or whatever because, they run the AC, and, half a tank of gas, that's a lot of idle time. So, so that's the story with this. I'm gonna prep this, take pictures, retail it, whatever. And then I picked this one up last week. It's a 348 Spider, very nice car. And this is sort of a forgotten Ferrari, or hated Ferrari. I don't know. The Ferrari connoisseurs think this is not a real Ferrari. Whatever. I really like the 348s. I think they're absolutely beautiful cars because they look like the mini Testarossa. I really like the look of the Testarossas, and I think this is a really good successor to that, because Testarossa is actually difficult to drive because they're very, very wide. It's a very large car, even though it doesn't look like it, but they're harder to drive. This is a lot easier to drive, and it's a lot more nimble. It's a smaller car, and it's by far one of my favorite looking Ferraris, after the 355. And this one is a Spider, so it's convertible, and it's a 94. So this is the last couple of years of production, and these are the ones that you want to get. If you're gonna get the 348, you don't want the early years. 1993 was when they did some stylistic changes, and they did changes to the engine and the rear track. This car is actually wider by 2 inches in the rear than the pre-93 models. So, and more power. So the engine has more compression, and it's making 300, I think US cars made 312, European cars made a little bit more, like 320 or something like that. But it's a lot of fun. I love these cars, and of course, there's nothing like the clickety-clack of the gated shifter. It's a lot of fun. This car is actually a lot of fun. Only has 24,000 miles on it, Very nice car, and if you guys want, I'll do a video on this. I haven't, I just picked it up, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun to drive. It's not the fastest car on the planet. I mean, a new Camry V6 will probably beat it in 0 to 60, but that's not about that, right? It's not about numbers. And this has got to be probably one of the most affordable Ferraris on the market today, aside from, like, I guess, Mondial, but Mondial is a piece of crap. But everything's going up in value. 355s used to be what, 50, 60 grand a couple of years ago, over 100 now. Testarossas, 5-6 years ago, probably could pick them up for 70, 65. Those days are gone. So the 355's gone up, the Testarossas gone up. The 328s and the 308s, people used to make fun of them. Remember, for the longest time, now they're, approaching 100. So this is so far an affordable Ferrari. You can get this, in the 60, 70K range. I mean, we're gonna get a Ferrari for 60 grand, and it just doesn't exist. And of course, you have the flip-ups, they're pretty cool. But anyway, so that's kind of the update. This is what has been going on. Turd Ferguson, the second is in the dealership. Turd Ferguson, the first is here. And it runs and drives. I fixed the car, so it's just needs a cleaning, and we'll just do that right now. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Peace.